The world's most expensive RV, the Element Pelazo, that thing goes for $3 million. Hey guys, what's going on? Cody from It's Bussin'. A little bit more of a different video today. We are pretty much finished with the framing portion on the bus. I mean, there's a couple things that I'm going to have to do, but we're getting ready to go to Colorado for about 10 days. I'll try to show some footage on that aspect, which if you've been watching a lot of the channel, you'll see that I'm parked in an RV storage, and there's RVs just absolutely everywhere. I am the only school bus in this entire storage, and I thought that this would be a good opportunity to go over the reasons why I think RVs are horrible and the reasons why I think school buses are great. So, tip number one when you're considering an RV versus a school bus, and this is arguably the most important tip, is cost. Guys, I don't know if you've looked at RVs recently, but like they start off at like $50,000 and they go all the way up to like $500,000. In fact, for the world's most expensive RV, the Element Pelazo, I hope I'm saying that right, and if not, then I'm just giving it this Italian stuff. That thing goes for $3 million. $3 million for an RV. Something that you're going to be traveling around. Something that is not considered a primary residence. My regular house, it's not even a tenth of that. It's not even 1% of that. Maybe it's 1%. No, yeah, it's definitely 1%. That would be $30,000. Okay, I don't live in a shack. Don't get me wrong. I'm just joking. On top of the other things, cost. And so what a lot of people do is they go on the RV lot. They know nothing, absolutely nothing about traveling, travel trailers. So they end up, really what they do is they predicate on a lot of retired people who have a huge retirement amount. And they talk people into spending their entire retirement on these things, which is why RVs are so overpriced. So yeah, school buses are like, you can get a school bus for anywhere from like I've talked about it on the channel. I'll link it up there. School buses are anywhere between like 5 to 8 grand for a decent one, and then once you convert it, you'll probably put about 10 to 15,000 into it. So in total, I mean, you're looking at anywhere from like 20 to 25 to maybe 30,000 if you want to go all out, and then you have yourself a rockin' RV. Number two, second tip is safety. Have you ever seen an RV after a crash? No, me neither. RVs are primarily made out of fiberglass. They explode into a million pieces. So those things are primarily made out of fiberglass and wood, very little metal. Those things not only crumple, but they just explode. As opposed to a school bus. Now, school buses are made out of forged steel, and their primary objective before being converted is to transport children around, like 30 to 40 children around. And you know how America feels about their children. We protect them at all costs. They're actually engineered to be able to roll over and be completely fine. That's why on the inside of a bus, you'll see all these little like metal ribs that go down the entire line. That's primarily because if they do roll over, they'll pretty much stay intact. In terms of safety, I put my life on a schoolie way before I put my life with an RV. Number three is plumbing. So one thing about RVs is they have what's called a black water tank. Every single RV out there has a black water tank, and that's basically where all the pee-pee and the poo-poo goes once you're done using the bathroom. Now, it just sits in this tank, and you basically transport that tank around until you get to a dump station. Now, when you get to the dump station, you basically have to take this big tube and you put it in the ground at the dump station, and you have to hope and pray to good Lord above that none of that pee-pee and poo-poo comes splashing up on you or on your hands or whatever. And it's definitely smelly without a doubt. I don't want to have to deal with that. I will, in the school bus, we're going to have a gray water tank, which is like shower water, dish water, which I'm fine with. But we're going to do what's called a composting toilet. And a lot of schoolies do this. It's called like dry plumbing. So essentially all the pee-pee and the poo-poo will go into a bucket, and that bucket will have like Coca-Cola or some kind of material to where the solids will drop into it, and we could basically mix it up, and it makes some kind of like mulch. And from what I've heard about it, the Coca-Cola, you can also use like peat moss. They actually neutralize the smell extremely well. So not only are you not dealing with the smell, but you're not dealing with like this soupy mess. So, and then lastly, guys, is my last tip. My fourth tip is customizability. Whenever you go into an RV, you're looking at a layout that like some corporate executive did market research on and thought that you would love the most. There's absolutely no kind of customability. It's all like cookie cutter, unless you want to like build your own RV, and then you're just in a different tax bracket altogether. So what I love about school buses is that you can really make it your own. If you're like a musician, you can formulate the layout to, like, maybe you have an area where you jam. If you're an artist, maybe you have a specific part of the bus that you just want to dedicate to your paintings. I mean, school buses really are like the purest form of self-expression. I think that it's good with a school bus. You can build the layout to your lifestyle. If you just have like one person and one dog, you can obviously build a smaller layout. If you have like a whole family, you can have an area for the kids. You can have an area for the living room, an area for the kitchen. Like I said, if you're just different lifestyles, you can create layouts around that. So I think it's really important. Alrighty, guys, those are my 4 tips of why I think RVs suck and why you should go with a school bus instead. If you've enjoyed this, feel free to like, feel free to comment below, and let me know your thoughts. If you think RVs are great, I would love to get your perspective on it. They're just not for me, but that doesn't mean they're not for everyone. So I will see y'all out on the road. Bye.